Welcome to Ready Player One. The year is 2045. Some dude named Wade Watts lives in a shitty part of Ohio called the Stacks, very aptly named because they're just a bunch of trailer homes stacked on top of each other. It's a shittier, flimsier way of building an apartment building, but they're poor, so whatever, it's probably cheaper. He leaves the house and goes over to a junkyard nearby where he has made a gaming den inside of a van. He has the Apple Vision Pros and omnidirectional treadmill, VR gloves, and all that stuff, but the shitty cheap versions of it. Puts them on and enters the Oasis, and now's a good time to explain a bunch of shit about this movie in a horrible attempt to keep this video short. First, the Oasis is basically VR chat mixed with every single other game imaginable. It's sandboxy, I believe, so you can make any type of games you want. You can be anything you want, you can do anything you want, and it's probably the inspiration for meta. You can do missions and collect artifacts that the creator had put in there that are super powerful because the creator went with a balancing strategy and mantra of if everything's OP, no one's OP. You can also sell that shit for in-game money or real life money, or buy shit in the real world with in-game currency, sort of making this game a viable option for a good source of income. Kind of like Venezuelan RuneScape. If you die in this game, which is called zeroing out, you can respawn, but you lose all your shit, and because people are so addicted to it and everybody plays it, literally their lives and money at stake here. Dying, losing everything, and going crazy in real life is literally called losing your shit in this movie. Thing number 2 you must know is that there's a big Easter egg hunt that the creator made before he died. There's 3 clues that lead to 3 challenges that lead to 3 keys. Whoever finds the 3 keys first gets the Easter egg / prize, which is sole ownership of the Oasis and 500 trillion quadrillion gazillion dollars. And all these riddles / clues are based on pop culture references that the creator really liked and important events of his life and shit like that. Third important thing is IOI, the second biggest gaming company after Gregory Games, the company that made the Oasis. And the CEO of IOI, or its leader, is evil corporate guy Nolan Serotonin. He wants to win the egg to get control of the Oasis and keep it full with ads and milk this cash cow till it's dry. To do so, he hired a bunch of nerds to study the creator's life and crack the clues, and another group of nerds that plays the game non-stop and try and win the challenges. Then we have the creator of the Oasis himself, Halliday. He's a massive nerd, a very awkward person, and currently that he's like a nicer Mark Zuckerberg because he's not completely obsessed with stealing your data and making money. He doesn't like making rules, he just wants people to play his game and have fun, and he made this game with his partner, Ogden Morrow. I believe Halliday did most of the heavy lifting and coding of the stuff. Maybe Augie helped out on that front, or maybe he was management, creative director, whatever the fuck, I don't know. But he did help make the game, and eventually got forced out of the company by Halliday himself because of rule-making differences, and also probably because Halliday dated Augie's wife years ago before they met, and he's kind of jealous. Now enough of the old people, let's get on to some young blood. Here are some of the important players you need to know. Parvasol, Sarpival, whatever. It's Wade's gamertag. He's orphaned, lives with his aunt in the Stacks and her abusive boyfriend. He's an Easter egg hunter, or Gunter for short, that does not clan up, and his best friend in-game and in real life that he's never met in real life is H, who also does not clan up, also is a Gunter, a very high-rated modder in the game, and in real life is a female. Last is his fucking Pokemon bitch called Artemis. She streams on Twitch, does not clan up either, is a Gunter, hates IOI because they drowned her father in crippling debt, and he died working for them trying to pay it off. Basically, they kill him with debt. Let us start with the motion picture, shall we? Some old Gunter 5 years ago cracked the first clue and unlocked the first challenge, which is a race that is so hard that no one till now has finished it. Everybody stopped caring, and all the people taking part are hardcore Gunters and the IOI army of brainless retards, aka the Sixers. The race takes place in Liberty City with lots of obstacles and shit. H and Parmesan are in it. Parmesan lines up at the back of the grid. Artemis rolls up on her bike, lining up right next to him. The race starts and fucking GTA Burnout Paradise Wreckfest racing commences. In the midst of the mayhem, Parmesan is in awe of Artemis because he's a tier 12 sub on Twitch and he always dreamt about fucking licking their toes, but now he gets to see her in game for the first time. And I'm left asking how the fuck this is the first time he's meeting her if they're both prolific hardcore Gunters and they're both grinding the same challenge for 5 years straight. Maybe she just got Twitch famous and he never noticed her before. Highly unlikely, but who cares? Parmesan works his way from front to back to collect coins from fallen players. T-Rex shows up to destroy some shit, and all the mayhem H gets immobilized and a bunch of players get zeroed out. King Kong shows up to destroy some shit, destroys the road to the finish line, which stops Parmesan, and Parmesan gets out of his car to try and save Artemis from getting zeroed out by King Kong, who's being a very sneaky ape, jumps up and crushes her motorcycle, and for some reason does not continue to kill them. Maybe he's not explicitly instructed or coded to kill them per se, but only to stop them, and if they die along the way, then so be it. But anyway, Parmesan tells her that H, his friend, can fix it up. So they go over to his workshop and he says it'll take 10 minutes to fix it up, but it only takes him like 90 seconds. So he does that while she quizzes Parmesan on Halliday knowledge and trivia. She finds out that he's a giga nerd incel #1 Halliday fan and rips him a new one for not risking zeroing out to win the race. He says he has too much to lose. She says they all have to do their part to stop IOI from winning. Her bike gets fixed, she logs off, so does Parmesan. He goes back home, gets yelled at by his aunt's shitty boyfriend, then physically assaulted by him because he called him the worst and most hurtful of gamer insults, a noob. He then stays up all night thinking about a sentence that Artie said about Halliday, how he didn't like to make rules. So next day he hops in game, goes over to the Halliday journals, which is like a big ass Halliday archive with all the shit he liked, the movies he watched, the pop culture he enjoyed, and all the memories they were able to recreate from surveillance footage, photos, recordings, etc, etc. All this was made for Gunters to sort of take a look into his brain and find clues for the next challenge or decipher the clues, whatever. It used to be packed full of Gunters, but now it's very empty and only frequented by hardcore Gunters. This is all way too well thought out and elaborate for him to actually be dead, by the way. They never really confirmed that he's alive, but I'm pretty sure he still is, especially with the way the movie ends. Anyway, he watches back a memory of Halliday talking to Augie about how he doesn't want to make any more rules and he wishes that he could just go back really fast in time. So it clicks in Parmesan's brain that he needs to go backwards at the start of the race. So next race he lines up alongside all the other racists. RT Mass notices that he must have figured something out, and when the race starts and they all go off, he stays and then goes backwards and a hatch opens and he is able to drive underneath the race course and skip all of it, skip all the obstacles King Kong can't get to him, and at the end he jumps out, crosses the finish line. And are we seriously meant to believe that in 5 years of this race being live, no troll, no player that likes to glitch out a game and break its boundaries, no speedrunners, no nothing have tried to go backwards at the start of the race? Have you ever even heard of Trackmania players? They're fucking insane. This is bullshit. Anyway, after 5 years and countless attempts, Parmesan finally gets this run. Finish Okay, I'm gonna stop. He's the first ever to finish the race, and Halliday's avatar shows up to hand him the key and the next clue, then gives him 100,000 coins. She uses to go on a shopping spree and buy a bunch of in-game items and real-life items like this gaming suit that he can wear in real life, and it gives him the ability to feel everything that happens to him in-game. And I will bet you my left testicle is a version of that with a crotch attachment that has a tube that goes over your boner for the perverts of the Oasis. But other than that, why don't he use some of that coin to help his aunt who just lost all her savings because of her selfish cocksucking boyfriend? Doesn't matter. Let's hop over to IOI or EOE to check on what fuck, I'm never making that noise again. To check on Serotonin Nolan. He found out that Parmesan got the first key, got into his high-tech gaming rig to jump in game and meet up with IROC, his in-game hitman, henchman, helper, person guy, and he puts a hit on Parmesan and later on I believe on all the other people who finished the race and got the first key, which are Artemis because she saw Parmesan go backwards, H because Parmesan told him what to do, and these two dudes called Daito and Sho who are trusted friends of H and Parmesan. They all got to the second clue, which is something about Halliday escaping his past and not taking a leap. Here it is, read yourself, you lazy. Parmesan goes back to the Halliday archives to try and decipher the next clue, and the place is once again packed with gunters because interest in the egg hunt has been reignited. He gets mobbed because he's now super famous for being first to the key, so Ari disguises as an orc, pulls him out of the mob, throws him to a wall into a hidden room to tell him that he's too famous to be walking around without a disguise now. So she gives him a disguise. They walk in to watch all Halliday's memories. She takes it off of him. Why did she not put her disguise back on? Isn't she also famous? And how did no one follow them in there? Also, I am skipping and ignoring lots of dumb retarded shit by virtue of this being a game, and lots of shit just can fly if the physics of the game allow it. But one of the most unrealistic things in this movie is the lack of slurs being thrown around in proximity chat. Even with abusive chat rules and restrictions or whatever, there's still bound to be one basement dwelling troll with a throwaway account hurling obscenities at people. But there's a distinct lack of that, and I'm disappointed. Anyway, they're checking out one of the memories of Halliday's life where he was talking about the only date he ever went on in his whole life, which did not go anywhere, and that date was with a woman called Kira, which is Ogden Moore's wife, but he went on a date with her years before Augie and her even met. Parmesan's theory is that she's important for this next clue, as evident by the fact that Jimmy Hallidude only ever mentioned her name once in the whole of these archives, and the curator of the Halliday journals, who's obviously not a computer or else he would have known this from the top of his head, does not believe Parmesan. Parmesan bets him all his coin that her name only appears once in the whole journal, so the curator quickly hits Control F to search her name when he finds out that it's true. Her name only appears once in this whole thing, so he's like, you're right, here, you get a code for that. Artie asks Parmy to meet her somewhere on Thursday. Bro thinks this is an E-day, so he overthinks which outfit he's going to wear, while H tells him that this is a bad idea to go, not to trust anybody on the internet, she's using you for information, don't develop feelings for people you meet online, they could be catfishing you and whatever. But he's like, no way, Artemis gets me, bro, you're a fucking delusional retard. Facts. Dude goes anyway and meets Artie at the Distracted Globe, a dance party planet, and because of how famous he is, once he gets there, everybody notices him, and IROC finds out he's there, so he shows up to spy on them, updates Nolan on his news, and he tells him to wait while he listens in on the conversation. She thought this place was his next chance location because reasons that are irrelevant because she was wrong and it isn't, so they keep discussing shit while dancing around and floating, and retard tells her his real name, that he wants to meet her in life, and that he loves her. What a dumbass. She's shocked and kind of angry, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, moron, you don't even know me. And then some IOI bitches break in to attack them because presumably Nolan was getting too impatient and jumped the gun on killing them. They fight back while she's still yelling at him for being a retard, but they eventually get overwhelmed, and their invisible armor almost gives out, so Parmesan uses a Rubik's Cube artifact that turns back time 60 seconds, which is enough time for them to escape, which would have worked perfectly fine if that thing turned back time around 78 seconds, because exactly 60 seconds ago,
did you hear what I said?
they were still under attack, but whatever. While they leave, she gets super mad at him for distracting her from the real goal, which is to stop IOI. She could have waited till they were out of the distractor globe or in the safer area to do this, because last I checked, IOI was on the cusp of breaking in and fucking them in the ass, but whatever. IROC tells Serotonin he's an idiot for attacking, but no problem, he overheard Parmesan leaking his real name, that he bought an X1 haptic jerk-off suit, so I cross-reference all the ways that bought an X1 suit in the past like few days, and bada bing bada boom, he has all his details and where he lives, and he doxes his information to one person, Nolan. So he sends Wade an invitation to a meeting in his avatar form. He accepts the meeting and his avatar gets projected into the real world. In Nolan's office, he gets a good look at his hamster ball gaming rig and sees that his password is written on a sticky note on there. Has this dumbass motherfucker never heard of remember my password? Anyway, Nolan tries to bribe Parmesan with lots of cool stuff and money, and then tries to offer him a job as an Easter egg hunter for him. Tells him that if he wins the egg for him, that he'll treat him right and he'll only do cool changes in the Oasis, trying to convince him that he's cool and hip like him with lots of pop culture references. But Parmesan sees right through his lies, knowing that he has a team of Halliday researchers in his ear telling him what to say, like, shut the fuck up, bitch, I know you're a normie with a bunch of people in your ear telling you what to say. Quick side note, when Wade tested out his holograminess, he shoved his hand through his arm as a hologram, but to do that you have to do that in the real world, and that's fucking impossible. I'm sure there's software related workarounds or toggles, solutions or switches, whatever, like the one for stabilizing your emotions that he uses while talking to Nolan to hide that he's freaking out, but I just feel like it's not the case here because it's too much hassle or whatever, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Nolan's like, fine, Wade, that's right, I know your real name, also know where you live, and now I'm about to blow to smithereens, and guess what, no one's gonna bat an eye because I'm white. Wade tries to tell him that he's not even there, then he tries to call his aunt while running over there to try and save her, but it's all too late because a bunch of IOI drones planted a bunch of C4 plastic explosive on his stack to blow it up. It all almost falls on him. He goes back to his gaming van to try and warn his online friends that IOI came up for him in real life. They might do the same for them. But some bald dude shows up and knocks him out with a chloroform rag, then brings him over to the rebellion. They're like IOI hatred place. Really want to take him down. Their name is pretty self-explanatory, I think. They're led by our Thai mouse, whose real name is Samantha. She reveals herself to Wade. They get to talking and she's like, oh no, don't look at me. I'm such an ugly bitch. You're such an ugly bitch birthmark. Oh, shut the fuck up, you stupid e-thought. It's not like your birthmark spells out the f***ing N-word on your forehead. We got one of those sexy make me unique birthmarks, bitch. Shut the fuck up and stop whining. Anyway, they're on the roof connecting and having a moment in the middle of Wade going, come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical. She gets an epiphany on what the solution to the second clue is. She figures that Hell Dude's biggest fear is female contact, specifically kissing Kira, that bitch he went on a date with. So they have to go back to where the date took place and take the leap or do something that he didn't do. So they both enter the oasis from the rebellion and meet up with their unofficial clan at the Halliday journals. Parmesan uses his vast and obsessive knowledge about Halliday to find out which movie they watched on their date, which was The Shining. The curator takes them there and they guess correctly it is an exchange location, which is evident because there's a big stack of papers with keys drawn on them. They figure out it's a timer because one page flies off per second. There's 300 papers, so they figure out they have 5 minutes to keep fracking at this clue/challenge and figure it out. H, who hates horror movies and never saw The Shining, just like me for real, gets distracted like a dumb dog by a ball, probably also just like me for real, and stupidly does the horror movie mistake of separating himself from the group. He keeps getting scared and attacked by many horror movie references and a naked zombie lady till he gets somehow rescued by the team. He tells them he saw a pic of Halliday and Kira in a hallway while he was drowning in blood, so they go over to that picture and find a ballroom right next to it and Kira floating around with a bunch of zombies and dancing with them. Artemis figures out that they need to get over to Kira and Daito's like,
1 minute left.
Again, inaccurate movie timer is inaccurate. You actually have no minutes left because 5 minutes ago you had exactly 5 minutes left. Also, that timer and its urgency is kind of irrelevant now that you know what the challenge is and you can just restart this level as many times as you want. But whatever. Ari jumps on the zombies and hops from one to another, gets to Kira. It turns out she doesn't need to kiss her, she just needs to ask her to dance. Halliday's avatar shows up to hand her the next key and the next clue. She reads it. Here, you can read yourself if you want. Doesn't really matter. Then Nolan finds out that Ari got the next key, followed by Parmesan, and he's super surprised that he's still alive. Didn't this corporate dumbass say this while talking to Wade?
You were last seen entering your trailer 3 days ago. You haven't left since.
Well, if the place is so well surveilled, you fucking dickhead, then how did you not see him go to his gaming van that day? And how come your drones are literally flying overhead while he was running back to the stacks to try and stop his aunt from getting blown up? Not see fucking... Dude, whatever. Real life IOI goons find out face tattoo bald guy took Wade and track him on their super shitty see-through screens back to the rebellion's lair and do a surprise attack on them. Wade and Samantha try and run away. She tricks him into leaving without her while she stays back to quote-unquote delay them. She sends a text to H to pick up Wade while she gets caught by IOI. H finds Wade outside and convinces him that she is H in-game, and he finds out that she's a female and surprised by that. Then they go to her UPS truck that's been ID'd by an IOI drone. So real life Daito comes out and smashes it with a baseball bat. His real life name is fucking Toshiba. They go inside, drive off, and find real life Sho, who's an 11-year-old Asian boy called Mitsubishi. I believe these two are brothers. Was H really close enough to pick up Wade that fast? Maybe, but what really annoyed me is that Samantha didn't have to stay back. She could have went with Wade. She didn't delay IOI at all. The writers just wanted her to get caught and somehow end up in IOI headquarters. That's it. Anyway, they skip over some info in this next part, so I'm gonna do the same but super fast, so brace yourself. IOI uses around 40% nerd Halliday knowledge and 60% brute force to find the first 2 keys and find the third challenge location, which is on planet Doom. Nolan goes in game and makes IROC deploy the Orb of Awesome Cocks, which deploys a massive impenetrable magic shield that can only be turned off from inside using a magic spell. Samantha got shoved into an IOI loyalty center, which is just a place where people can do in-game tasks for IOI to pay off debts they owe them and are not allowed to leave till they pay off all the debts. It's basically slavery with extra steps. So the Parmesan gang is able to hop in game from their parked truck and hijack Nolan's feed from his rig because Wade saw his password and they hacked into it. They trick him into thinking that they are interrogating him in real life when they are really still in game. In a replica of his office, they squeeze info about where Samantha is and how to free her from him, and they guide the E-thought to freedom from E-slavery, while Nolan figures out that he's still in game and takes the headset off, goes to look for her, but she already knows that and sees him run around looking for her, so she goes up to his office to fuck around his rig and see how to turn off the orb. She's able to do that because he still has not changed his fucking password. My brother in retardation, what the fuck is wrong with you? You literally scrunched up the password post-it note, but you didn't change it. Oh my god. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the world's dumbest businessman. Also, I feel like they could have done way more with them knowing the password to his account, but nothing really springs to mind, so I guess that'll do. Anyway, she escapes his room and then hops in game as an IOI soldier this time inside the magic force field and goes to the center of it to try and shut it down by shouting some magic shit at it. Meanwhile, Parmesan was busy raising an army on planet Doom by live streaming his version of a Braveheart speech to the entire Oasis player base so they can come and help him fight IOI. Like, this game is awesome and it's our life. IOI is a penis and his cum is full with ads and they're about to skull fuck this game, so come forth and help me save it. That is not an accurate depiction of what he said exactly, but same gist. That works. The whole player base comes to planet Doom to help attack the shield that eventually falls because the bitch was inside yelling at it. At this point, Nolan's serotonin has re-entered the game and sees his army of IOI Sixers try to defend the castle from angry, socially inept retard gamers, and a clusterfuck of pop culture references get thrown at us while a big battle happens, in which H gets into her very own Iron Giant to fight off Nolan, who's in his very own Mecha Godzilla. Then Daito joins in to help out in his very own, but only for 2 minutes, Gundam. He gets Zero out, but then Artemis, with the help of H, is able to take out Nolan. Artie, Sho, and Parmesan cross the lava moat using the help of H, who falls into the lava moat and zeroes out. Then Parmesan shoots Artie in the face to force her to get out of II HQ before she gets caught by Nolan. She is able to do that just in time. Sho and Parmesan cannot get into Doom Castle because there's a big group of IOI Sixers, so he throws a holy hand grenade at them and zeroes them all out. and their respawn points except for one. For some reason, this is still standing. I don't know why. What the fuck's so special about it? Doesn't matter. Parmesan and Show enter the castle and find a lone sixer trying to attempt to finish the last challenge, which is playing an Atari game. At first, they were trying to brute force every game, but then the nerds found out that the specific game that they have to play is Adventure. The sixer finishes it, wins the game, but still loses the challenge. So Parmesan figures out that it's not about winning an adventure, it's about finding an Easter egg in it. But he can't try that theory out because Nolan respawns with an alt account probably, and IROC is there with him. He holds back Show, while Nolan threatens to use the Cataclysm if Parmesan does not show him how to win the Easter egg. And what that artifact does is it kills every single player online, no matter how strong or how fucking geared up they are. Parmesan knocks it out of his hands and they proceed to fight. Nolan finally gets to the Cataclysm and uses it. Hold on, if you activate the Cataclysm by pushing both ends together, then how come when it flew out of his hand and landed on its side it didn't get activated? Do the game's physics only allow players to activate it? Was that not enough force? I don't know, maybe, whatever though. He uses the Cataclysm and wipes out every single player in game in a big swift wave, and there's no way all the IOI Sixers are arranged the same way in real life as they are in game to achieve this shot of them all dying in one wave like this. But who cares? Parmesan, to everyone's surprise, is still alive because the quarter the curator gave him is actually an extra life. So he respawns in default skin clothing and goes on to play Adventure to find the first ever Easter egg put in the game, which is why how they chose this game. And technically this is not the first ever Easter egg put in the game. First ever Easter egg found in the game is actually in the game called Moonlander. Apparently the one in Adventure was just the first instance of some cool hidden thing being called an Easter egg in the game, according to one 10-minute YouTube video that I only watched 30 seconds of while researching the validity of this claim. Anywho, him playing the last challenge gets streamed on all Oasis channels for the public to see. He finds the Easter egg and Halliday's avatar shows up to give him the last key, but H, who started driving around after she got zeroed out, went around and found Samantha, picked her up, and then they got clocked by an II drone and some II goons followed them, trying to run them off the road and kill them, causing an otherwise smooth ride to become very unsmooth while Parmesan tries to unlock a big vault with the 3 keys. The children in the FedEx truck fight off a trained assassin that jumped on to try and kill him. H is instructed to go to the stacks while Parmesan enters this vault full of riches to sign the contract that gives him sole ownership of the Oasis, but he's like, this corporate shit ain't right. This is how you made Ogden Morrow sign over his shares, which you consider the biggest mistake of your life. This is a test. I'm not signing this. You're right. It is a test, and you passed. The place transforms into Halliday's childhood bedroom with a younger version of himself there playing games, and Halliday's avatar transforms into himself. He shows Parmesan the button that deletes the whole game and nukes all the servers forever. He accidentally almost presses it because Nolan, who got into his own truck to try and chase them down, is ramming into their back. And two things start happening at the same time right now. First, Hallidude explains to Parmesan that this game he created to escape reality is pretty cool, but reality is pretty lit too. Famalama Ching Chong. He hands him the golden egg. It glows through his haptic VR gloves. Second thing that happens is that they arrive at the stacks. Nolan Sykes from Donut Media crashes into them and spins them out. He gets out the car and gets surrounded by people from the stacks telling him that they know what he did here, and they try to stop him from getting to Wade, but then he shows them his all-access pass to anywhere he wants to fucking go, aka a gun. Opens the van to see Wade holding the egg. For some reason, he does not shoot him now. Seriously? Your evil cold heart has been changed by some fucking glowing LEDs and a crying teenager? Fucking pull the trigger, pussy! Doesn't matter. Cops arrive in Nissan Leafs. What a fucking joke. They arrest him. Parmesan asks Halliday, you're not a avatar, are you? He's like, nope. Is Halliday really dead? Yep. And what are you? And he just leaves. Bro's the worst liar ever, dog. He's probably still alive somewhere on a private island with everything he needs on it. Probably not the Epstein child diddling kind of island. Either that or his avatar's AI. Anyway, Oggy Morrow shows up with a bunch of lawyers so Wade can sign a contract that is totally not a test now to get ownership of the Oasis. Oggy reveals that he was the curator and he's been watching real closely. He didn't know anything about the challenge. He just gave an extra life because he felt he was a good kid or whatever. Halliday's biggest regret was losing Ogden as a friend. Wade splits up ownership of the Oasis with his friends / newly formed clan. They hire Ogden Morrow as a consultant on the Oasis and ban all loyalty centers from accessing it, which fucks IOI in the ass. Then they start closing down the Oasis on every Tuesday and Thursday to force the fucking nerds playing it to go touch grass. Also, Wade gets some Twitch puss. This movie gets 5 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3s out of 89 GTA 5s.